research studies, everything that we talk to government, it has to be evidential. It can't be just sort of pie in the sky. It has to be something evidential and substantiated and tested before we submit any report to government ministers and departments to say, well, you know, perhaps there are ways of improving the sector, but the most importantly is to engage you and to capture your thoughts and repurpose that thought in a structured way so that the ministers can actually think about it and introduce some policy lines that could support the future reforms in the sector. Reforms will continue to be because the world changes all the time and we need to have that ability to respond effectively. These are some of the activities and research papers that we have published last year. Very briefly, one line on each. Knowledge and technology transfer. We've been active in this field since 2005 when we published our first report on this subject when we were asked by Lord Sainsbury to examine that particular area. And last year we were asked by the Secretary of State John Denham to look into knowledge and technology transfer. In fact, last December 2007 on the 18th, and he said if you can produce something for us, you know, in time for the white paper in March, the Innovation Nation, that would be really great. So we worked very hard to support that development, and we're delighted to see some of the developments coming to realization and the sector embracing this change and this development. The appliance of science is another piece of research that looked at the technician as a category within the country and looked at the capability, the shortages, the issues around the technician. And I have to say that we must have an occupational standard for technician. We can't be an industrial nation. We can't continue without having a standard industrial code for technicians. So I certainly direct this point to the Minister to ensure that we take this on board for the future to enable us to see the shortages in that particular field. When we conducted the research, there were at that time 40,000 shortages, and of course that just before the credit crunch. But you know, fundamentally it doesn't change anything really, because the issues are still there in terms of the categorization, in terms of the state of readiness as you colleges to respond to market needs and to drive, to be market makers. You know, that's most important, to actually drive the technological development in the market space. So preparing for the future, this is the ability around science and technology in colleges, particularly at levels 3 and 4. The path to productivity, this is the work-based learning piece of research that we have conducted in partnership with the Higher Education Academy, the Engineering Subject Center, and the Foundation Degree Forward, and all the partners that you see listed here, and to identify better strategies to embrace and recognize the development of work-based learning.